Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Victor. I'm over here in Arlington, Texas. Walking to my first time to Division Brewing. I meet up with a guy named David Gill, and he wants to talk about a beer trip. He usually does European tours with his group, 40/40 Adventures, and it seems pretty fun. But now they want to do something with beer, and let's go talk about it. So let's go check it out. Foremost, thank you for coming on the podcast, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's delicious.
Big Ben Stout from Division.
Big Ben?
Big Ben, 12% Imperial Stout.
Ooh.
And yeah, smooth.
It's super smooth. This is the thing I was just talking about. My last podcast, I had a really good friend of mine. His name is Tony. He doesn't drink stouts. He wants to get into stouts. But he said he felt like for a long time they just feel heavy.
Yep.
It's like, it's not all do. Because I'm a little lighter. I don't like those. This is what I like. I like it heavy.
Heavy,
like it
dark, and thick. Yep.
Velvety on my tongue, coats my tongue. This is delicious.
Yeah. It's
So
good,
Big Ben
good beer.
Division. So, welcome guys to another week of Drunken Public. I'm your host Victor Santana, bringing people together one beer at a time, one community at a time. And we're brought to you my guest, David Gill from the 40/40 Adventure Club.
Hey, good afternoon.
And so you actually run a backpacking adventure club in Europe.
No, we're based here now.
You're based here now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crumbs. Yeah, 40/40 Adventures. We set it up 2 years ago, but it's a culmination of like 20 years worth of work, leading expeditions, clearing landmines, the whole sort of shebang. Brought it together, and we formed a company. And
No way.
Yeah. So we're registered here in Texas as an LLC.
What?
And we're looking.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to Texas.
Cheers. Appreciate
Cheers.
it.
Okay, so so what's the goal now? Like, since you're based out of here, do you guys still want to do like European adventures or?
All over the world.
All over
We go to countries that I've lived and worked in. So everything from Peru, Chile, Bolivia.
So you do South America.
South
okay.
America, right the way through to Europe, through to Africa. We've got plans in the future to try and do ski trips to Afghanistan.
Ski trips? I would
trips to
never have
Afghanistan.
guessed that. I'm like, okay, Afghanistan.
But that's a couple of years away, I reckon. It's a beautiful country. I worked out there for over a year, and we just want to try and change people's conceptions of countries. So everything you ever see in the media, no-go zones and whatnot. Yeah, it's true for some countries, but there are still places of beauty where it's nice and safe to travel to. So
Laws are laws, but it doesn't change the beauty of certain locations.
that's true. That is true. So.
I've been to Singapore, and they have some weird laws.
Yes.
They're very strict laws.
Yep.
But it still doesn't deny that it's a beautiful place. And
No.
they do like to drink.
Oh, crumbs, yeah. My dad was over there in the 60s with the Air Force. And
Oh, wow.
sort of Singapore International Airport, when he was first there, was a dirt strip in the jungle. Now it's voted the most beautiful
city in the world.
City and airport in the
They
world.
have strict laws on gum.
Yes, yeah.
And that blew my mind.
It's one of those things. I think dropping gum is pretty awful. So yeah, let's get rid of it.
Well,
yeah.
they pride themselves. Like, it's one thing about Singapore. Just my short time there.
Yeah.
It's not like I spent a lot of time there. I was only there for like maybe 4 days.
Okay.
So I didn't spend a lot of time there. But one thing is that they're very prideful. They work together as one big group.
Yep.
And they all fall in line together. So if they're like, okay, I want to keep this city beautiful, that's the goal they wanted.
Yep.
They want to build a very beautiful city, and they did that.
Yep.
And they keep it, and they're very proud of that.
Yep.
So they want nobody messing with it.
But the food there is fantastic as well. Did you try any of the?
I did. I'm not big on. I like Asian food.
Okay.
They're all from Thailand,
Yeah,
different Korea, Japan, South Korea, different. I'm from New York City,
Okay.
so I had authentic Korean food
Yep.
and real Hong Kong Chinese type of style food. So I've had it all, but I'm not a big fan of their food.
Okay.
Mostly. So I'm really Singapore was good,
Yeah.
but I got definitely American versions of a lot of things. Yeah.
So whereabouts else have you traveled to? Sort of. what's your-
Not much. I did spritz here and there. So
Okay.
I went to Reykjavik, Iceland. I went to Norway, Vancouver.
Yep.
All up and down Mexico. My parents are Puerto Rican and Dominican, so I went to Caribbeans. But yeah.
And
But-
where would you like to go though? What would be the ultimate sort of bucket list place?
Bucket list play. honestly, backpacking through Europe.
Okay.
I still want to see like I don't knock people wanting to go see like Hong Kong and stuff
Yep.
like that, but it's never been like a go-to destination for me. I'm just too big. I'm 300 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. Like I've seen too many videos. My stepfather went there. He lived there for about 2 months.
Right.
And it just seems too small for me. I like.
It's part of the experience. Part of the experience.
I see some of the restaurants. You sent me pictures. So a lot of places in Japan, they still have that floor toilet.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and that just bugs me out. And first of all, I'm not that good at squats, so.
Oh man. Funny you should say that. I've had an idea in the back of my head to write a book for years. It's called 80 Poos Around the World, you know, sort of similar to 80 Days Around the World. And all sorts of different pooping experiences, from my first sort of long drop poo in Africa through to pooping on Stalin's toilet in
No
Georgia.
way.
Yep. So can I say shat?
Yeah.
Oh,
you say whatever you
sorry,
want.
Mum. I've shat on a dictator's toilet. I've shat in war zones all over the place. So we're literally trying to write a book suitable for sitting on the toilet reading. So it's going to be pictures of toilets.
I think this is doable because toilets do get weird.
Yeah. Oh,
Toilets
there's
get
some
weird.
freaky toilets.
So just from, it wasn't that big of a jump from Reykjavik to Norway.
Yeah.
But it's different.
Yes. Yep.
And there's some things you don't expect. Like sulfur smell all over Reykjavik is a problem.
Yep.
I didn't even brush my teeth for the first week I was there.
Just because of water.
Just with the water. And I would get bottled water and brush my teeth because I was like, I don't know how I feel about the sulfur thing. But after a while, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the beauty of traveling. You do get used to different environments. And again, that's what I want to try and get people to experience. Just getting out of their comfort zones, seeing that we're all same as people, as human beings. We're all the same. Different colors, religions, whatever, sexes. We're all got the same thing underneath us. And just experiencing other people's food, their languages, their environments is phenomenal. I've spent 20 odd years doing this.
I wish I could do that same. You know what? I really do enjoy that aspect because that made me feel different too.
Yeah.
Growing up from New York City, my biggest problem with my family from back home or some of my friends from back home, a lot of them don't travel. They just stay where they're from. And that's fine. New York City has some of the most culture in other places, but it's still just one place.
Yep.
You know?
So,
people acclimate to the city and they become New Yorkers. Even if you're from different parts of the world, you acclimate to that energy of the city. And I feel like every city has a different energy.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a great way of explaining it. And I must admit, I've lived here now in Texas for over 3 and a bit years. My wife's from here, and I've turned around to her and said, America was not, it wasn't the foremost country that I thought I was ever going to settle down and live in. But
I imagine.
I've grown to love it. Grown to love, especially here in Texas. It's very different. Cultures are extremely different to where I grew up.
Yes.
But it is an awesome place. There's been difficulties adjusting to certain things. The temperature in the summer, 100 plus degrees is not
tough.
fun.
And as you get older and heavier, it does not get any easier.
Yes, I must admit. But things like the convenience, the drive-through banks, the drive-through grocery store pickups now, the drive-through restaurants.
Everything's drive-through.
I put on 30 pounds in 3 years.
Texas, one thing is that you don't have to get out the car?
No.
You don't have to get out the car.
And air conditioning. To me, when I lived in Africa, AC was not one of those things. We just relied upon winding down our windows and just accepting the heat.
Central air, I can't go back.
Now here, it's like, whoo, I want to get straight in my house as soon as it gets hot. Well, the car's cramped up. It's just like, right.
Automatically, if the push start now, you could turn the AC before you get in the car. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. No, even growing up in New York City, we didn't have central air. A lot of the old apartment buildings don't have central air. You have AC units on certain places of the apartment, and you have 1, 2, or 3, if you're lucky, 3 space heaters, like not space heater, but steam heaters in the apartment, if you're lucky. Sometimes they just have 1.
Right.
So when I moved here, central air is like, I can't go back.
No, I can't believe just how big an industry it is down here. And I'd hate to see sort of like the carbon footprint in the summer.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Don't even look at it.
No.
But the beautiful thing about that is that even though you don't imagine Texas being super green, West Texas, they have so many windmills out there, and they're still building more, and they're still looking at alternative ways of building green. So I found that beautiful.
All the solar farms as well.
Yeah.
I think they're fantastic. So you've got the open spaces. Back home in the UK, people always have this misconception that it's always grey, wet and drizzly. one of the biggest growth industries we've had, especially on farmland, is solar farms. So the sheep are grazing underneath these these things, and it's, to me, I think it's a great way forward. Less sort of fossil fuel being burnt, the better, I think, for the world and the environment. But
it's just taking time. Let people develop the way they need to.
Yeah.
The only thing I have a problem with is demanding people to change immediately.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow people to be creative. Because if you demand immediate change from any groups of people, it stagnates ability to think.
Yep.
And you look at right now solution versus what's the best solution.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is a thing. It's a weird thing.
But yeah, I think if it can affordable, easy technology, it's great. We started to see before we moved here, my wife and I lived over in Ghana, and
so you really have been everywhere.
Yep, our son was actually born over there. So
in Ghana.
Yeah, so
I've only seen pictures.
It's stunning.
And I found out it was a real place maybe a year ago.
Really?
I didn't even know that place was real.
West Africa, stunning place. Beaches are phenomenal. There's some good surf.
That's what I found out about it.
Yeah.
Because I was in Norway. When I was in Norway, they were talking about taking a vacation out there.
Yeah.
A beautiful hunting family. I met them during Christmas in Reykjavik.
Okay.
And they're the big hunting group, and they always go to Reykjavik for Christmas because it's a very sleepy town in Reykjavik, which I learned the hard way. They shut down for 3 days.
Oh, no.
I was there for vacation.
Right in the middle of winter as well.
Yeah.
So snow's coming down.
No jacket.
Wow.
I went there with a hoodie. I left here from Texas.
Okay.
I went there with a hoodie. That's how smart
That's
I am.
good.
That's how smart I am.
We do provide sort of like expedition training and advice on countries.
I would have needed some help at that moment. No, but yeah, they would talk about it, and I was like, that's not a real place.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
And they showed me pictures, yeah.
The variation from coastal through to tropical sort of savanna, and then right up in the north, there's wildlife reserves, elephants running around. Slightly different from Eastern African elephants, slightly smaller. And it's stunning. It made so many good friends over there. Say our son was, when we moved out there, we went out to run a schools expedition program. So we're getting British kids over to Ghana, Ghanaian kids going back over to UK on exchanges. And we had a couple of big overland trucks to run. It was great fun. We lived right on the Gulf of Guinea, so right on the beach. And yeah, we found out that my wife was pregnant, and we weighed up the options of coming back to the US and getting that huge bill for having a baby, or using the medical facilities in Ghana. So my wife
obviously chose Ghana.
Yep. My wife would tell you a totally different story to my view on giving birth in Africa. I looked at it as a massive adventure. My wife looked at it as something petrifying.
I would imagine she's the one going through it.
Yeah, and so she's from here in Fort Worth, sort of Arlington area. So we've got all these phenomenal hospitals around here.
Yeah.
You name it, everything's available. We used to drive for about 4.5 hours from the town we're in up to Accra for each sort of meeting with the doctor and various things. But it was great. It was.
I can see the variance of the difference is obviously we don't go through childbirth.
No.
And obviously it seems cool to us. I would assume if I was in your position, I'd be like, it's not bad. It's not bad. But I'm not the one going through it.
I know. I think it's being so far away from family. It was just my wife and I going through that.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, sorry, hon. But we got a beautiful little 4-year-old boy.
Congratulations. First of all, I wanted to say congratulations for having a son.
Cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Does he get dual citizenship from being born in Ghana?
He's got his Ghanaian citizenship, his American citizenship, and we've got to get him his British citizenship because we've got to look at the various options.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just turned 4, and this year he'll have visited his 4th continent. So Africa, Europe, North America. We're off down to Peru in about 8 weeks. So we're hoping our little boy comes up a bit of a world citizen, goes off traveling, and just enjoying life and taking some risks.
I really, so coming from New York City, I was not a big fan of Texas.
Yep.
It's definitely different.
I bet.
But what I found is not as drastic as saying coming from Europe to South Africa. That's a different world too. But what I would say is this: it's different, and I fought it as long as I could because I was like, this place sucks, and everything sucks. The music, the food sucks, everything's steak and barbecue. I'm tired of steak and barbecue. Can we get some other food here?
Yep.
And I just fought it for so long. But what I've grown to do is I met really nice people.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yes.
And then I got a career here that allowed me to travel where I wanted to go.
Yep.
So not just coming from here back to New York and back and forth, and that's the only my travel experience. I went from here to Florida, all over America that I wanted to go to, up and down the West Coast. Went to all over the South, Georgia, Louisiana, New Mexico, Arizona, everything I could, everywhere I want to go so far, Florida, Tennessee, everything. And I was like, you know what? Let's go to Canada. There's one hop over. I don't want to go to Toronto. I've been there, done that.
Yep.
The other one is the only big one is Vancouver. Went to Vancouver. I fell in love with it.
Vancouver's stunning.
I try to live in Vancouver.
Yep.
Met this guy. We've known each other for 2 weeks.
Right.
He was my drinking buddy. The first night there, became my drinking buddy for the whole trip there. He tried to get me a job at his company.
Fantastic.
And I tried to get try to get a job there. I interviewed several times there. I stayed there an extra week. I said, forget work. I am moving to Vancouver. To this day, one of my favorite places in the world.
It is beautiful up there.
Massively.
Did you go over to Vancouver Island?
Yeah. So the everything. I did everything. I went to for me, top 5 aquariums is the Vancouver Aquarium.
Yep.
Like that's phenomenally beautiful. And it's the stunning city, the transition of walking over the bridge and just walking city. Then you got the little Bruce Lee sign statue they got there, a little Koreatown or Chinatown. What tripped me out, that was the freakiest thing I tell people all the time, is the little one street they got for all the meth heads.
Right, yes. Yep.
I pride myself, or I used to pride myself in being able to go to any city and go to the worst neighborhood and hanging out there and drinking and eating. Because that's why I find the better food. But I was like, I saw that one strip, and the first time in my life, I looked at that strip, and I was like, I'm not going down there. Broad daylight.
Yeah, yep.
It was broad daylight.
Like,
Not going down that way.
There are certain places that do just have that effect, though. But as you say, going out and just drinking beers with local people is phenomenal. That's pretty much how I got into drinking craft beer here. Stumbled across a little craft beer bar, met some fantastic people, and so I now pull beers here at Division. I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I just found out that was pretty awesome. No, it's kind of the same way you discovered by accident.
Yeah.
I discovered it, the craft beer. The same thing with this podcast. We discovered it by accident. Fell in love with the people.
Yeah.
The people. Drinking is drinking. Listen, I could drink Greek beer all day. Good beer is good beer. Bad beer is bad beer, whatever. If I'm drinking, I'm drinking.
Yes. Yeah.
But what makes things better, bad or good beer, is the people we meet along the way.
Definitely.
And I learned that in Vancouver with my friend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve out there in Vancouver. He's a phenomenal guy. He really tried to help me get a job.
Right.
This was several years ago. And I'll never forget it. He was a really nice guy, really nice family man. But I met him at a bar, similar to this, small little pub. And I got a beer. I don't know what it was, but it came in a little, sometimes when it gets to 14, 50% ABV.
Yep, the smaller the can.
So I'm like.
For a reason.
Yeah, so I was sitting there and I was really upset, but I didn't, because people were working. I'm not going to get mad at the bartender because he was a busy bar.
Yeah.
I'm not getting mad at him. I'm like, man, I'm a grown man.
Why are you giving me this?
Yeah, I got a baby beer. And he kind of hears me mumbling. He's like, hey, what's wrong? Isn't that what you ordered? I was like, yeah, that's what I ordered, man, but what is this with this little glass? He's like, strong, don't worry about it. I was like, man, I could drink, though.
Yep.
He's like, okay. He's like, here's the thing. I'll buy you the next 3 beers. And we'll see how you feel afterward.
Yep.
And at first I was weird because I've seen people be weird and be predator. I was like, I don't know about this, but I'll take 3 beers. I'm going to pay attention. So I get the first 4 beers, and 4 total afterwards. He bought me 3.
Yep.
And we talked and chopping it up, and I told him I'm from America. He loves American football, and they have their own Canadian football league, so we compared the difference. Because I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they have
a football, what you call American football.
American football, they have a Canadian version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it all nice and polite?
Yeah, no tackling, they lay people down. No, so it's so we talked about the difference, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna use the restroom. Then I stood up from the bar, and that 4 beers hit me.
Yep.
And I was like, ooh, I'm drunk.
Yep.
And he was like, I think I won this bet. I was like, I'll be here tomorrow. You owe me 3 beers.
Yeah.
And I was like, done, sir. I will be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And that's how we became friends.
Well, that's pretty much how I sort of discovered craft beer. It's like drinking at a local establishment here in Arlington, and drinking Miller or Coors or Budweiser, whatever it was. And I
drink it, but they're not good.
Yeah, but I was sat reading American Sniper, trying to get into that mindset of what makes Texans tick. And after several pitches, drinking on my own, and a lot of country music, I need to stretch my legs, see what else is about. And I kind of stumbled across Cool Keg. And I like
your place.
Cool Keg's a very cool little place. I just heard some good music coming from it. opened the door and I looked in, brickwork, this stainless steel thing with lots of taps. And I said, this looks a little bit like
50 taps?
what have we got? 30 taps.
That's a lot. I was a little overzealous with 50, but I was like, I know it's a lot of taps when you walk in there.
30 beers is still a lot of beers to try and work your way through.
Yeah.
And I must admit, it kind of reminded me of a little bit of British pub, that sort of low ceiling, just that real relaxed, cool ambience. And I ended up drinking with, soon became an extremely good buddy, a guy called Cesar Hernandez, who also works at Collective.
Shout out.
And he introduced me to...
I might know him. I was
Cesar.
trying to do a podcast with Collective for a while now.
Yeah.
I've met a few people there, but I'm bad with names.
Okay, I'll give you Cesar's number. Cool dude. And he introduced me to sort of drink some stouts. So I'm going, I'm a Brit. What do you Americans know about beers? Don't recall much, apart from waking up the next morning, my wife sort of telling me off. I've got the worst hangover in my life. Don't remember how I got back home. I think Cesar called me an Uber, and my son's crawling over my stomach, and I'm just saying, don't pull the curtains, don't pull the curtains. And I got to start going, okay, so Americans can brew beer. And since that's 3 odd years now, and met so many cool people, real nice, made some fantastic friends here. Through, as you said, beer is a community, and here I am now sat working at Division. I pull beers here, we organise expeditions, and I love it. I love coming into work and chatting with people and just trying different beers. And I must admit, having kicked around the world, I've drank some shitty beers, I've drank some good beers, and to me, as you said earlier, it's not just a beer, it's the communities that it brings with you.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, it's from sitting anywhere in the world. I could be sat on a beach drinking a cold beer made out of crumbs. In Ghana, we had a cassava beer. It didn't taste brilliant, but cassava's like mandioca, a root vegetable.
Okay, got it.
And it wasn't the best beer in the world, but it was a company I sat around with.
It's the fun you have with it. After the initial taste, this is what I found out for me, and I got this from the Norwegian family I was hanging out with. When I met them, I'm still drinking liquor.
Yeah.
And when we sat around, I met them at the Christmas, this beautiful hotel. It was like an art museum style hotel in Reykjavik. And we go in there and we're going to have dinner, and they're having dinner. We're the only like groups there.
Yep.
And then they see me drinking, and they're like, "Oh, you like to drink? We like to drink too." But we're having dinner with the family.
Yep.
After we go upstairs, we're gonna relax, put the kids to sleep, and come down here and drink. You're more than welcome to join us. It's like, cool. I got a few bottles.
Yep.
He's like, if you're gonna bring your stuff, we'll bring our stuff too.
Yep.
It came with 4 suitcases of liquor.
Oh wow.
And beer. It was a combination of liquor and beer, but they brought down 4 suitcases. I came down with 2 bottles. So I'm like, okay, this is a different kind of party.
Yep.
What I found from them is that they travel the world too.
Yep.
And their perspective was this. He's like, listen, we drink good stuff, we drink bad stuff.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I travel with my family, I love my family,
Yep.
and we meet great people.
Yep.
On a rare occasion, we meet bad people.
Yep.
But for the most time, we drink whatever we could get our hands on, and we're having fun with people.
Yeah.
Especially they're with their kids and they're having fun. They're like, we're just hanging out, man.
It's an icebreaker. So I've been lucky enough to work in all sorts of places, and for me as well, it doesn't matter what language you speak. You could always be speaking different languages. Mm-hmm. You don't have to also have a beer to try and communicate, but just that shared passion, that shared interest.
The verbal communication, this is like an unspoken body verbal communication. I found like in Singapore.
Yep.
Lucky for me, a lot of people spoke English in Singapore. So same thing with Reykjavik, people spoke English. Like a lot of people spoke English, especially in the main city. Like everybody speaks English, or majority of people did, I should say. So it was easy for me to communicate. But there's sometimes you run into people at the bar that don't speak English.
Nope.
And you just give them a nod, you're drinking, and there's a non-verbal communication you have there with hanging out with people. You might be watching something on TV and just nodding along.
Yep.
Or someone says something funny and you hear them laughing, it makes you smile, and they smile with you, and they're like, hey.
Yep.
Because it's the joyness of people hanging with each other.
It's like beer, sport, food. Great icebreakers. So at one point in my life, I used to clear landmines, and I first position I had was obviously being trained on how to clear them, learn how to defuse bombs, and it was in a region that does it.
I like how you say it so casually. Just
it's what you do. It's just like finish university, get some jobs leading expeditions, and it's like, all right. I went off to join the British Army and got into Sandhurst, which is our version of West Point, that kind of thing.
I'm glad you said that, because I was just not in my head. I was not going to cut your story off.
But I wrecked my knee before I even joined, and so I spent about 6 months in plaster. and took the leg cast off, went off to the army. The knee was wrecked, so I left before commissioning, and that's really how I got into expeditions, working outdoors. I ended up working for Outward Bound, running up and down mountains, kayaking, trying to get my knee strong enough to go back to the army, because that's all I ever wanted. But then, when was it? 2003-ish. I ended up leading an expedition to Peru, and I watched the invasion of Iraq from a beach in Peru. And so I'm just sat there just going, this would have been me rolling into war. And it's still, for me, my generation's war was Afghanistan and Iraq after the Twin Towers. And I just felt I need to be in that fight. But I was 4 or 5 years older by this stage. And I'm just sat there going, do I want to be running around with 19-year-olds? Now I'm 24, seeing a bit of a world. Still had my place at Sandhurst, and I came home from various expeditions, and I was just sat there going, okay, the Army's still calling. But then I saw an advert for the Halo Trust, this landmine organisation, clearance organisation. So I applied thinking, this is I'm never even going to get a phone call or whatnot. Came back from an expedition to Belize to be invited for this interview. So I went up to Scotland, sat there for 3 days, surrounded by all these ex-military types, going, what the fuck do I know about landmines? And some odd questions in the interview that if there are HR departments, they would never allow.
But this is before HR.
This is before HR and publicity and all this. Hey, Wade. Good. And they sort of said, so when are you available? I went, week Friday kind of thing. I've got 2 weeks. I could be out of the country and doing things. So later on that week, I get a phone call from the director of the NGO just going, right, we decided to give you a go. We're going to send you out to Nagorno-Karabakh. We're going to train you how to clear landmines. Any questions? Like, yeah, where is Nagorno-Karabakh? And it's like, I thought you knew. Did you not listen to the briefings during the interview? It's like, oh, yes, yeah, of course I did. All right, that sounds good to me. It's like, okay, the first 3 months are unpaid. Okay, that's cool. So that sounds like an adventure. And so, I spent 3 months on my hands and knees with body armor on, visors on, learning how to clear landmines. And Nagorno-Karabakh, or it's now called Artsakh, is ethnic Armenian within an area that's technically Azerbaijan. So you've got Iran to the south, Armenia to the west, Azerbaijan around it.
Oh, wow.
So it's right in Eurasia, so it's where Europe and Asia meet. And it's a stunningly beautiful country on the edge of the Caucasus Mountains. And the war that they fought was back in the 90s, Soviet Union broke up. Huge, nasty war, broke down communities, broke down sort of people who've been living side by side for a long time. And the legacy of it is landmines lying around the place. And for me, it was fascinating learning how to clear these things. But what the overriding thing was just seeing what an impact war has after the guns have stopped, the war still goes on. Yeah. We're now 20 years on, and we're still clearing landmines from Artsakh. Same Afghanistan, Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, all of these places. I started off with Halo there, loved it. Then got posted to another country that doesn't exist called Abkhazia. So opposite end of the Caucasus Mountain Range.
What happened to that country?
It was, again, sort of broke up with the Soviet Union. Georgia left the USSR. Abkhazia just went, we're Abkhaz, we're not Georgians. So that ethnic divide, same thing that happened in Yugoslavia, same thing that could happen in Britain. Breakdown of Wales, Scotland, whatever. And again, nasty war, ethnic cleansing, landmines, it's kind of a legacy. And I spent about a year and a half, 2 years in the Caucasus region, learning how to implement sort of mine clearance programs. Then got posted to Mozambique, and
it's finally say a place I know.
Okay,
I know that place.
Yeah,
I haven't been, but
stunning, absolutely stunning. It's about the second time I'd ever been back to Africa, and again right up in the north on the Tanzanian border, and we're pulling out landmines left by the Portuguese War of Independence from the 70s. They were laid in 1967 through to 71, If you can imagine,
They still had landmines
Yep.
in 2000?
This was 2000. Crumbs, when was that? 2005, and
Yeah, that's 30 years.
30 years just lying there in the ground, and 52 kilometers. So what's that? About 48, 49 miles worth of minefields. So if you can imagine going from DFW to beyond, Dallas, beyond Fort Worth.
You're going to the other side of Fort
Yep.
Worth.
All laid with landmines. So we pulled out 70,000 of them, and living right out there in the bush, it was phenomenal. We had little camps. We were in the middle of nowhere, overlooking the Tanzanian border. Beautiful, great experience.
Well, first and
hard
foremost,
work.
I'm glad you're here. I'm
Yeah,
glad you're here.
I've got all limbs.
No mistakes happen.
But
But that's insane. It takes 30 years.
it comes down to funding. We were actually that project was sponsored by the U.S. Department of State's Weapons and something or other Removal Abatement Department.
Well,
So-
that makes sense. So you have to pay someone to be there and pay someone to remove them. But I can't believe it took someone 30 years to pay to get that out of there.
Landmines are a huge, huge problem around the world.
I can't believe they're still using landmines in the 90s. Like, I thought that was...
There was-
Isn't that like forbidden in...
It all depends. There was the Ottawa Mine Ban Treaty, which is, I think, 1990 something or other.
Yeah,
And
so I remember in history, like
yeah,
history class.
Princess
I'm
Diana.
only 30, yeah.
Yeah, Princess Diana's was involved with bringing landmines to the forefront of people's mindset. But there are hundreds of signatories, country signatories to it. The United States, Russia, and various others are still not signatories to it, but for various reasons. But the US is one of the biggest supporters of landmine clearance in the world. And for me, it doesn't matter, again, which country it is, whether there's any political leanings, just getting these things out of the ground. If you've ever seen a kid blown up by a landmine, it is heartbreaking.
I haven't seen them personally, but you see pictures. You see
yeah.
pictures. Like,
And it's a finite problem.
It's the figures people. The person, of course, who touches it,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yep.
But the radius, you don't know how much radius it has.
Yeah.
There's a good documentary back in the days on the History Channel when History Channel used to be a documentary place.
Yes.
But
sold out?
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was a documentary about the disfigurement of
Yeah.
war and landmines and things like that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
And the thing about a lot of these things is they put these in walking populations, put these on streets
Yep.
that normally people travel on, and it's not this initial bomb.
No.
It's a shrapnel that goes on for almost a mile
Yep.
that takes people out.
It depends on what's laid. So the landmines we're clearing, anti-personnel mines are about the size of the top of a pint glass. And they're designed just to maim. They're designed to take out part of an injury. Because if you injure a soldier, it takes 2 or 3 people out of the fight to look after him. However, these things they're not targeted just at soldiers. These legacies last. And it takes out livestock, humans, it disrupts entire communities.
And people, the military don't remove it; they laid it down because people forget, and then people start building life over it.
Yeah, and it also depends upon the conflict. With battlefields being so fluid, and nobody draws up maps. The conventional forces do, but if you've got unconventional forces, they're putting them down to hamper movements, and it's intimidatory. If you laid one of these in, say, you put one landmine down in Jerry World, anywhere on that pitch, would anybody step onto that? You just don't know where it is.
Don't know, yeah.
So you've just rendered a huge amount of area unsafe. It's unproductive. You can't cultivate it. You can't live your lives. And would you send out your kid knowing that there's been an accident down the road? No, you'd be.
Even if it's say it's a quarter of a mile radius, let's say an accident happens. Like this is a lot of grassland over here. Or not a lot of grassland, but there's enough grass here. You could hide a few small landmines. But let's say an accident happens across the street, a lot of people not walking on grass
Exactly.
for the next quarter of a mile.
Yeah. So then it comes down to, unfortunately, just time, effort, money to clear landmines, and money's a big issue. Under Princess Diana and various things, it became a glamorous thing to be involved in. But then the big recession kicked in. Funding was cut to a lot of mine action agencies. It's slowly building up again, but it's a finite problem. It's not curing a disease. Once you've removed a landmine, it's no longer going to affect anybody. You blow it up, problem gone. It's not going to grow back.
Yeah.
And it's something that I must admit, I spent 5, 6, 7 years of my life involved in it. It's an incredibly, on a selfish point of view, quite a rewarding career. But at the same time, I made some fantastic friendships. I got to know areas of the world where people don't go to.
Not selfish at all. It's pride in what you do. It's pride in what you do.
Huge.
And you helping people too. Inadvertently helping people. You're not directly you're not in like a surgical tent.
Yeah.
Directly saving one person's life, but indirectly saving tons of people's lives because now you're allowing these people to live their life comfortably, not worrying about things being there. So yeah, of course. Why not be prideful of that?
I must admit, I've since finishing that job, I've found things that I've found contentment in, but that has been one of the most satisfying things I've ever done. And I also want to be able to take people to these places I clear the landmines from and just go, look, this is stunningly beautiful.
Well, you've seen so many beautiful places. You've seen most of the world that people only dream of. Like, I did some traveling.
Yeah.
Like, I did a little bit of traveling compared to some of the people I've met. Like you, I've done a very little traveling. But compared to you, you've traveled the world several times over. Like, but I've done more traveling than most people.
Yeah. So why not just do more?
Yeah.
So, you know, when we initially started talking about just that beer or that conversation, I remember sort of doing a minefield survey in Nagorno-Karabakh, and we stopped for lunch. I couldn't speak Karabachi, I couldn't speak Armenian or Russian. And I'm
Armenian's
there with,
not a language. This is so weird. I've seen people speak Armenian. It's,
Yep.
it's not a language.
And we sat down with a local farmer, and he's got his little river running down the edge of his pasture, and he broke out some fresh, most beautiful tomatoes I've ever eaten in my life. Cheese made from his goat herd. And then he showed us his still for making Tatofka, so his homemade vodka out of blueberries. And I must admit, that hit me. And it was just like, this is pure great spirit. And the conversation flowed. I couldn't speak their language, but we gained that smiles, the whole thing. And to me, that's the experiences that I want to continue having. Breaking down barriers and just seeing the world for what it is. I'd love to go to New York City. Never been.
Yeah. We can make a trip.
Exactly.
I got tons of family out there.
I would love to see all these things in New York. It's the city that never sleeps. The one Frank Sinatra song about.
It's literally the city that never sleeps. There's very few places that close. Like not everything's 24 hours.
Wow.
Of course, not everything's 24 hours. There's plenty of restaurants who close at certain times. There's plenty of bars that close at.
But then you just.
But there's always something going on. It's definitely something that's to be experienced because there's no other city like it. There's no other city like Tokyo. There's no other city like Hong Kong. It's what I found out for me is when you visit these places, there's an energy and a vibe to it. Now, I was born and raised in New York City. But when you go back to it, you feel the energy that I grew up knowing. I'm like, okay, I'm home. This energy is home.
Okay,
Now, there's parts of the energy I don't like, but that energy is home. And then when you travel other places, you realize, oh, this is not home because this energy is different.
Yes.
This vibe is different. People are different. And then I like that part of it. I like that part of traveling.
To me, driving back home to Cornwall, we are about 200, 300 miles from London. We're right on the far west of the United Kingdom. And going down the A30, there's a clump of trees that sit on the top of this mound. And for every Cornish boy or girl going home, they're the nearly there trees. Because we're nearly there, we're nearly home. And it's just one of those sites that you just go, right. Next thing you know, and it's like, I'm going to start smelling the sea salt in the air. I'm going to be right by my local beach break. Going to go for a pint at my local pub. Going to see my friends. Going to go and feel the sand under my feet on the beaches. And you say, it's that energy. And I must admit, it's been 3.5 years since I was last home. And I'm 41 now. This is the most, almost homesick that I've ever felt. So kicking around conflict zones, never had the time to feel homesick. Always had a job to do. And here's where we're now living. My wife and my son are here. This is home. But it's still, where am I yet? I'm still missing that beach.
I understand completely because I've been in Texas 11 plus years now. I've been here for a while. I've lived most of my 20s here. Even though I've traveled and been other places and attempted to live other places, most of my life has been here in Texas. Now, I definitely like Texas more now than it was 11 years ago. like you've experienced Houston 13 years.
13 odd years back, yeah.
Yeah, it's different. They've grown. The culture's grown.
Yeah.
The people have grown as being more welcoming.
Yeah.
Texas pride is a real thing.
Yeah.
But I'm homesick because no matter where you live, how long you live away from home, when you get near where you grew up loving, that is a resurgence of energy.
Yes.
A rejuvenation of like, oh, I'm home. I'm comfortable. You know, there is a flow, an ebb and flow that you feel comfortable in your heart and your soul. And this is the thing. I may not believe in all the religious stuff, but there is a human soul and experience that you feel when you go places. Home is definitely something you will never forget.
No, not at all. And I must admit, my wife would love for us to move back to Cornwall. So I left Cornwall because of the job opportunities weren't there. Our industries were fishing, farming, tin mining. Didn't grow up in a tin mining family, didn't grow up in a farming family or a fishing family. My dad was in the Air Force. So my automatic reaction was join the military, go off, see the world, become a man. That was the slogan back in the 90s.
That's kind of the same slogan for me. I was going to join Air Force. My cousin joined the Air Force instead, but I was going to join. The recruiter was an asshole. And I was very rebellious. I'm like, you're not going to curse me out. And belittle me. I'm not coming back.
But I don't know. For me, though, travel it's opening eyes. And I've taken 10 odd expeditions of high school age kids out of the UK, showing them like Mongolia, Malawi, Vietnam.
How's Mongolia?
Mongolia's epic. Just those landscapes are incredible.
I would imagine pictures are beautiful, but pictures doesn't do a region justice. No. Traveling in Iceland and Vancouver and traveling in those, like in Mexico too, like anywhere you go, pictures are fine. Pictures give you some idea. But it's different. It's different when you see it.
It is. Ulaanbaatar, when we flew into it, you just see this city coming out of the smog. It's one of the world's worst polluted cities. It's incredible. It's vibrant. It's different. We were there just around their Independence Day. So I woke up incredibly early one morning, jet lagged as heck. And I just walked out from the hotel and I came across this huge parade square. And there's the military doing their practice for their big Independence Day. And I'm just like, this is phenomenal. We then jumped in these, almost the Russian equivalent of the VW Beetle, but an all-terrain sort of, not Beetle, the combi vans.
I know what you're talking about.
The Dormobiles. And with racked in there was 16 of us in 2 of these vehicles. And we bounced along for 2 days to get out of the steps. And it was remote. But you just look at, the skies are constantly blue. It was stunning. People were fantastic. Again, that language barrier was there, but the smiles were welcoming us.
Here's the thing about I found out, what I learned by traveling, and you would have learned too, is regardless of the language barrier, it's all about energy. If you don't give off a hostile energy, they don't give off hostile energy. Because everybody at this point, there's no communication. It's only nonverbal.
Body language. Exactly.
So they're showing you something. You can either like it or don't like it. It's fine. But it's all how you like it, don't like it. You know, and it's okay. Either way, everybody's fine.
Oh heck yeah.
If you give you, like, for me, it's food. When people give me food I don't like, I'm like, I'm sorry, but that was not for me.
But it's only a mouthful. It's like beer, like anything, just that little taste. So our 4-year-old son at the moment, the only thing he eats is mac and cheese. And we're like, we're going down to Peru, buddy. And I don't think we get mac and cheese down there all the time. You're going to have to eat rice, potatoes, vegetables. And he's just like there going, no. It's like, you're going to starve? You've got to try anything. And that's, again, what I love about, I've got to be honest, Texan barbecue, not a huge fan. The smokiness, I enjoy, but it's not one of those things that I would crave. Tex-Mex food, crumbs. Guys, people are going to watch us and just go, what?
No, here's the thing. You're walking into something that I've been saying for a long time. Listen, I don't like Mexican food, but it's not Mexican food. I don't like Tex-Mex. It's not food. It's
I
just
like
cheese.
It, but
it's just cheese
on a different type of tortilla.
No, it's horrible. actual Mexican food is a wide variety of things between different varieties of rice and different varieties of meats and the way they cook it. Like it's a wide variety, not just cheese, rice, and like saucy shit. Like.
But being a Brit, all I get asked is, "Oh, so what you eat fish and chips?" I was like, "No, not every day." But all British food's bland. It's like, no, it's not.
It's different.
It's different. Yeah, and that's the whole point of traveling. Try different things, experience different cultures, different ways of life, different ways of just doing things.
Well, the funny thing about it, you've been to Peru. Peru, they have some spicy food, but not typically really spicy.
No.
It's very similar to the Caribbean, the Latin Caribbeans, where it's more salty and a lot more earthy flavors. And that's how we eat our food as well.
Yeah.
So I've been around, lucky for me, growing in New York City, I've had traditional Peruvian food. I have a half uncle who's Peruvian. Oh. So I've had traditional Peruvian food. So it's similar to our food in the Caribbean. So when you talk to people, like, okay, do you have spicy food? Yes. But that's not how we usually eat our food. It's very rare you have something super spicy. Yeah. You know, it's out there. They have peppers. It's not like they don't have peppers out there, but they don't really make it to be spicy. It's flavor.
Do you want another bit?
Oh, yeah. Family. I don't know if it's a Caribbean thing, but my family definitely. It's every beer you pop. You don't have to do a whole cheers and salute kind of thing and chug, but it's an acknowledgement, like, hey,
no, I like
another one.
And again, around the world, it's the same. Crumbs.
I was going to ask you, anyone that you find, like, did you like?
Or
anyone you find weird?
My mother's Irish, Northern Irish. So we've got the whole sort of toasts and traditions there. Georgia, crumbs. Their thing's vodka. So they have at gatherings, whatnot, they have a tamadar, which is basically the Toastmaster. Okay. And I lost count of how many toasts you've got to do, the official toasts. So it's like toast to the health, toast to the host country, to the homeland, etc. And I went round to a friend of Rackley's it was basically wetting the baby's head. So that tradition of, he's just become a dad, so he invited us around. There was so much food, so much vodka, so much Georgian wine. And they also have, the glasses are horns, so you can't put them down. Or it's a wine glass with a beveled bottom.
So you can't really hold them.
You've just got to constantly drink. And I have so many, what's this now, 12 years on, I'm slowly recollecting the night. It was brilliant. There's myself and Ed, my boss, Ed Rowe, British guy, and we'd just done a survey of minefields in and around Georgia. This was before the Russian-Georgian War that happened a few years back. So we're surveying minefields left by the Soviet army when they pulled out. And Irakli was with us, and at the end of the week, by that stage we'd been detained at one point by Georgian military police and accused of spying. All we were doing was looking at minefields. We just happened to be in the wrong area. Quite an intimidating afternoon.
I would imagine.
And it ended up with us drinking vodka with the police officer and his deputies and whatnot, looking at the minefield maps that we were trying to look at. But anyway, Irakli's son's head wedding, he made me sort of like honorary tamadar. Couldn't speak Georgian, couldn't speak Mingrelia. So I'm there in English, and he's just going, okay, we'll go through the traditional toast, and then every round. And you've got to drink the shot of vodka or the glass of wine, and then it's topped straight up.
Yeah.
No real recollection of how many vodkas or glasses of wine I drank that night. And we're in an old Soviet Union style apartment block. We left there. Iraklis just saying, are you going to be okay? It's like, yeah, we just got to get across to Tbilisi to our apartment. Ed and I looked at one another and said, we can now go out drinking. And we found ourselves drinking in a brothel. We had no idea it was a brothel. The snow's coming down, and we just saw this light, and we just walked in, looked around and said, okay, this is not what we thought. But we sat there just being given more shots of vodka, more beers, being chatted to. It was like, this is awesome. These are the experiences you take home. Making conversation with anybody and everybody. And I kind of miss those times. And
yeah.
Some of these expeditions that we've got going on, there's opportunity to go out and meet people. But
I tell people all the time, I haven't been traveled most of Mexico. I haven't been in most parts of Mexico, but I've been on the west side of it most. Yeah. So Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, all that on that side. It's fun. It's beautiful. Yeah. Mexico City is a different beast. It's one of my most worried trip because you always hear bad things of every city.
Yeah.
That's not your home city, like your home country.
Yeah.
Like every time you leave America, you don't do this, you don't do that, whatever. But Mexico City, okay, yeah, there's problems there. There's problems everywhere.
Yeah.
But the most welcoming people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
From my experience, even being in Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico or even Canada, there's welcoming people everywhere.
Yep.
But this was my experience personally was a different level of welcoming. Like everybody, every night, if you're there, they're gonna cook for you.
Yep.
They're gonna welcome you to your house. They're gonna drink with you. And it's everybody. It's like a universal thing that the people just want to hang out and talk, and everybody wants to come and drink. And I really, really like that part of social gathering and things like that. But it's easy for me to be there because Spanish is like, I'm not great at Spanish, but I understand it. I grew up around Spanish, but I can only imagine being in Georgia or in Iraq areas, like not understanding what the hell is going on.
No, but sometimes you just got to roll with the flow
and have fun. As long as the energy that they're giving is fun and you're giving fun, everybody's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, we've all walked into that bar where you suddenly feel the atmosphere change.
Yeah, because you
knew. And I must admit, I've got a couple of dive bars that I enjoy going to around DFW. Would my wife feel comfortable walking into them? Probably not. But I don't mind.
There's a few dive bars around here in Euless that's really fun.
But I view it as I'm meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's places I go to that are probably higher end where I'd feel extremely uncomfortable. And
you know what? Can we talk? I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I honestly hate going to fancy places. I honestly feel the most uncomfortable in those scenarios. Yeah. And I don't. People will always make fun of me because I think I'm being paranoid.
Yeah.
I just don't feel good. It does not feel good to me being in these places.
As you said, it's the energy people give off, and it's the people. The establishment also kind of gives off that feel. I've been comfortable walking into places. Would I choose to go with there again? No. Restaurants that it's like I don't want to go back to. Bars that I wouldn't want to go back to. That lack of being able to be who you are. That putting on a false front. That pretense. People do it because it's a barrier. It's a barrier.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. I don't know. I don't like it. I feel the most uncomfortable. My friends. So it was a group of us for a while. I have friends from New York City. Yeah. I made some friends here in Texas. I made the connection. We all became friends. And what we made the promise to each other was like, we're gonna go somewhere new. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to new cities in just the United States. It's easy for everybody to travel.
Yep.
They could drive or whatever. People, we gonna make a promise for a while. We did that for a while.
Yeah.
The difference between my friends that met me there and me is I always got there day early because I always wanted to go to the lower income areas.
Yep.
Not because I wanted to travel to lower income areas. I wanted to hang out there.
Yes.
I find myself food and drinking there is always better.
Yes.
Now, in the same time with my friends, we go to the lower city or the rich areas of the city, whatever it may be, whatever's going on, the big parties. I don't feel comfortable. No. I do not like it. I don't have fun.
Well, I live just off Sundance Square, and you know what that's like in Fort Worth.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. But then when you've got security guards riding around on segways and mountain bikes, and you can't walk through there after 2 a.m. in the morning, it's too clean. It's too sterile. You go to other areas of Fort Worth, and you can have a blast. You can actually meet people. And it's the same. I must admit, I've sat at roadside bars in Africa. Sat in Vietnam with sewage running down the middle of the street on tiny little stalls, eating the best sort of food, drinking cold beers, and having conversations. Been into 5-star restaurants where it's been waiter service and with their bow ties and their things over. Haven't enjoyed it. The genuine feel is just going out there and experiencing things. Again, travel, I think, just breaks down prejudices. We've had clients that can afford to travel 5-star ways. If that's what you want to do, you want the 5-star treatment, you want the all-inclusive, that's great. it's not what we offer. It's not what we do. So it's not my beliefs.
There's two things I want to just reiterate before we wrap this up, because I know you have to get ready to go to work. You got so far to travel for work too. No, but what I want to just reiterate is the 40/40 Adventures Club. So can you explain the difference between doing like a typical European trip that people pay for that have some stops versus your trip?
Yeah, as I said, we've been running this now for a couple of years, and for me, we've got to get to the heart of culture. So the Cornish trip we've got coming up, it's where I was born, where I was brought up, where at one point I owned a pub back in the UK. So
that's my dream. I want to own a bar.
It's hard work. It's exhausting.
If I'm there, I'd rather be there versus like I work at the hospital. But yes, continue. Sorry.
And so we sat, working in a brewery, chatting with my friends here. So okay, we can. It's getting under the skin of places, getting to go traveling with a local, seeing what we do, experiencing my Cornwall, not the tourism version. Newquay, where I went to school, we get probably about 3 to 4 million visitors a year during the summer periods.
Really?
That is frustrating. The hotels, everything is booked up. It's just chock-a-block traffic. However, we've got 100 plus, nearly 200 miles worth of coastal paths with little hidden beaches where the masses don't go to. So I know where to go, the nice little pubs that haven't become gentrified, where you can actually meet proper Cornish people who speak like pirates, all that kind of stuff.
I want to hear that. I do want to hear that.
Another beer. I can actually feel the R's rolling a little bit more. But I'm extremely proud of where I came from, and I love the place. And for me, our way of traveling is you go with somebody who's been there, where it's in their skin. It's like Ghana. We've got my friends over there will run our trips. We do things that are off the beaten track, that aren't the touristy things. And just allow people to travel and see it like the way you go to different cities and different countries. See it from a local's perspective. So we've got various expeditions and adventures that we do. We've got the big climbing mountains, climbing Kilimanjaro, Aconcagua.
So you do that as
well? We do that
as
well. We also do the more... We're trying to, as my wife kind of explained it, I've got my ego project, the big mountains, I want to row across the Atlantic Ocean kind of trips. But she's going, not everybody wants to do that, you dumbass.
I'm following with your wife. I want to do the trips, but not those kind of trips.
And I'm just up there going, right, I'm 41, my body can still got probably another 10 years of abuse before it finally packs in. But we're kind of looking at other trips, so the cultural side of things, where it's not so punishing, that you don't have to take 3 weeks, 6 weeks to do. And so the Cornish Brewery one, it's 7 days where I'm going to teach you how to surf. Well, I'm not going to teach you how to surf, but one of my old
can though.
Yeah, that's what we did. That's what we grew up on. But one of my old schoolmates is a British surf champion and competed on the world circuit.
Oh wow!
Owns his own surf school. And so he'll take us out surfing. Sailing, we've got amazing sailing on the Foul Estuary. And then we've got all these different breweries. And say 20 plus breweries have now sprung up in and around Cornwall. And everything from small microbreweries through to...
See, this sounds like more my kind of a trip.
Yep.
So how can I get involved? For people who's watching and listening, how can we get involved? How can we sign up for this trip?
It's on our website. It's in Cornish, it's Colonel Bradgy Adventure, which is our language.
Okay.
We have our own flag, our own language, our own government.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we 1549 was the last war we had with the English, so we got you guys beat, but we're still occupied. But it's called
because you're so much closer. We got a whole
exactly. You got a whole ocean. But the Cornwall Brewery Adventure, it's on our website, www.4040adventures.com. In 7 days, we're going to take you from London down by train, and the train journey is spectacular. We get it down through the old counties of Wessex. So if you ever watch all those TV shows about Vikings and all, there's the Kingdom of Wessex, and then you got the Cornish down
what's that? Is it the History Channel or the Netflix channel?
Yeah, Netflix. Yes. Yeah. So they go on about tribes of Wessex.
Yeah.
We beat them in a war at one point. And then
they don't look like they're that good at war anyway. Not on the show.
No, but first day we arrive in Cornwall. We've got a whole bunch of really nice houses we're renting, and all food's locally produced. I think my sister's going to be cooking. She's a caterer and chef, so she's going to be doing all the food. We're going to learn how to cook our traditional Cornish pasties. We're then going to go to take in there's the Minack Theatre right on the coast down near on the Lizard Peninsula. It's a theatre carved out of granite right above the Atlantic Ocean.
You guys still use it?
Oh yes.
Oh, wow.
It's phenomenal.
That's interesting. How does it sound there? Like it has to be intense.
It is. So you got the ocean crashing down, and you're sitting in this amphitheatre that goes down basically to the cliff level. And
it's weird how they figured out how sound works back in the day.
Oh yeah,
and it works.
But this whole theatre was carved out of the granite by one woman.
No way.
Yep.
No way.
Minack Theatre. It is beautiful. So we're going to take in the night of a prom. So us Brits, we do prom music, so it's big old drums, trombones, pomp and circumstance side of things. And then we're going to hike around the cliff paths, taking in local breweries. We've got one of them that's in an old Cold War nuclear bunker.
Wait, nuclear bunker?
Nuclear bunker. Built during the Cold War, is now a brewery.
Okay. I mean, that's fun. That's interesting. If the space is right there, why not use it?
Exactly. Then there's other ones that are in old pubs right on the beach, through to state-of-the-art production ones. We're going to go to a local hop farm. The climate down in Cornwall is very different to what most people see.
Yeah.
So we've got palm trees growing down in Cornwall. Yep.
I would never guess that.
Nope.
Never guessed that in a million years.
So
if you would have said there was palm trees, I would have been like, no.
Oh,
there's no way there's palm trees up there. It's too up north.
No, we've got the Mid-Atlantic and the the jet stream comes over.
You got that breeze. I was going to say you got that warm air coming up. Okay.
We've got great surf. So again, surfing, sailing, coasteering, different breweries, Cornish pubs, tales of smuggling, pirates, the entire works. And then the Falmouth Beer Festival. Excuse me, got a bit of wind there. Yeah, beer's kicking in. And that's a 3-day beer festival, and right on the town of Falmouth, which is an old port town. We got castles built by Henry VIII overlooking the entrance to the estuaries. So we're going to do a bit of private dining in a Tudor castle.
This sounds like everything I want to do for the podcast. So we're still virtually a very young podcast.
Yep.
But the goal for me is I believe the DFW area has the best beer community.
Yes. Yep.
In my opinion.
Yep.
But I haven't traveled the world for beer communities. I've traveled places to travel.
Yep.
But not checking the beer culture. And then when I mean by beer culture, it's just not about beer. Because beer it's subjective.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people.
Yes.
I'm talking about the people.
Yep.
And I felt like that's something I want to do. So can I tag along on this trip? Can I record it?
Yes. Let's do it.
I have a gimbals everywhere. I have plenty of things that I can record this whole thing, this whole trip.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I have Gorilla Canons. I can hold multiple phones and record and cameras and stuff like that.
That would be cool. Yes, let's work on that.
Yeah. I would love to do that.
So then after the Cornwall trip, we're down in Peru. We're looking at combining mountains with the beer culture down in Peru. There's craft breweries kicking up all around the world.
I need you to connect you with a man called Barrett Tillman from Black Man Brew. He was just in Peru teaching a lot of the beer people how to brew sours.
Yes.
He was just there 2 months ago. He was out there for 5-6 months, helping them, teaching them how to brew beer. And he would help a lot of people do beer competition out there, and he was like a judge out there for the beer and stuff like that. So I think he would be also connected with the up-and-coming breweries over there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mate, my buddy Jimmy, he's a Brit down there, married to a Peruvian girl, lives in Cusco.
He's living a good life.
Yes, yeah. So I think this is something that we're definitely going to look into and growing. Various trips, not just your Oktoberfest, going and sitting in a massive beer hall with 10,000 other people drinking big steins.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it's not getting into the culture. It's like St. Patrick's Day here in Ireland. Everybody's Irish for the day. In October, everybody's German.
I hate it. I like it, but I hate it because I'm the same way. I drink and party too. I mean, I'm in the groups, but I don't like it. You know why I don't like it? Because it's not authentic. It's not authentic.
Yeah.
But what I feel like, what I would imagine for me, like if I was going to record, because what I'm doing lately is I'm trying to showcase why I love the beer community.
Yes.
Right? So I'm trying to take my gimbals and my recording devices everywhere I go and try to show why I enjoy it. Yep. Now, there's drinking involved, of course. Yep. It's easy to say, if you like drinking, you're going to drink. Okay, that's easy. But it's not why I like it. It's the people.
Yes.
And it's hard to showcase it when it's 20,000 people. It's hard to showcase it when it's 50 people or 10 people. It's hard to really showcase the individual nuance of everybody and the energy you feel.
Yeah.
It's hard to portray that through. Now, I do my best to record it. I do my best to show it, but it's hard. You need to really go out and experience it. And I think this will be the perfect way to really experience it.
I think so. Really I hope so. And for me, it's a pride thing. I'm able to show people where I grew up. I personally believe it's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
When you got palm trees, I think anywhere palm trees is beautiful. Listen, this is why I like Florida, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Anywhere palm trees, it's a beautiful place.
But I can also say, we've got the palm trees, but come winter, we've got rain that comes in horizontal that's, crumbs, you've got to wrap up very warm.
You lost me with the rains.
No, but it's still beautiful. My wife, when she first came over, we met on Match.com. So we spent 3 years chatting before we actually met
no way.
in person.
So that actually does work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Promise, what day is it today? It's the 19th today?
Yeah, it's the 19th.
Okay, 27th of April is our 6th wedding anniversary.
What?
So, yeah.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Cheers to that, yeah.
Cheers, Audrey.
Cheers, Audrey.
When she first came over to the UK, we did a road trip. I borrowed a mate's VW camper van. And this is November sort of time.
Okay.
And we had my 2 big dogs, a German Shepherd and a Roddy Cross. It's cold, it's wet, we're in a camper van with no heating, and I'm showing her the sights of my Cornwall. You can drive around the entire coast in probably 2.5, 3 hours. We did it over 7 days. I showed her I showed all the places that I loved. And to me, that was huge amounts of fun. I was rediscovering where I'm from. Because when you grow up in a place, you kind of take it for granted. 100%.
100%. When I grew up, like New York City, everything was near the Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, but I grew up there. I lived there. I went to school there. I worked there. I never saw that stuff. So when I left New York City and like, hey, did you see all these places? I'm like, I knew of those places.
Yeah. But did I go and look at them?
No. But then when I went back, I'd seen all those places. And then I seen more places. You know why? Because people change.
Yes.
Things grow.
Yep.
And even though you feel sad, because you feel like, things that I remember is not here the way I remember it. And that's sad, but
that's
other things grow. Things grow. Yes, you got to get away from this disappointment. Like, I knew this because this was this when I was a kid. It's different now. It's different.
Nostalgia
30 years later, it's going to be different.
Yep. Nostalgia is great, but it can be a hindrance.
Yes.
The little town I grew up in, my mother's actually got our family house for sale now. It's the only house I grew up in. 44 odd years we've had this house.
You're not gonna convince her to hold it on?
No, we don't need it anymore. My mum's living there on her own. All of the kids have moved away. My father passed away, so she's rattling around this house, and it's where we grew up. It's going to be sad that my house isn't my home. It's no longer my home, but it's change. Yeah. It takes some adjustment. The town has definitely changed from where I grew up. When I was a kid delivering newspapers, I knew everybody on the paper route. It's gone from 1,500, 2,000 people max up to about 4,500, 5,000 people.
Way.
Which
That's
is a huge growth.
That's a big growth.
In a very small area. And our town takes...
What are you talking about, like 10 mile radius?
Smaller.
20? Oh, smaller.
Our parish boundaries are, I think, 1.5 miles.
What?
Yeah. We've got one main street, houses off those, and the width of the street is from me to brewing equipment away. You can get one car down there.
Oh, wow. Way smaller than I was thinking.
It's been kicking around for crumbs. When did we get the market charter? Around about 1400s. So it's an old town, but it's growing. The countryside's disappearing. Is that a bad thing? In a way, yes, but in a way, no. It's progress.
Yeah, it is. What I had to do, and what I learned about meeting people, because people had to go through it too. Mm-hmm. You know, talking to people in Mexico City has changed the last 30 years. Tremendously.
Massive now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's always been
It's
big.
the biggest city in North America.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe that because I called bullshit the first time someone told me that. Like, we have more people here than anywhere in America.
Yeah.
Name one city we got more. I was like, New York City. We have 8 million people. They have 12 million people. And this was 8 years ago?
Yeah.
8 years ago?
And every day it's expanding and expanding.
Yeah. People coming from South America moving there all the time. It's a massive city.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was 100 pounds lighter than I am now. I felt like a fat ass. I didn't realize it was the highest peak in North America too.
Oh, really?
It is the highest city in North America. So walking up 2 flights of stairs, I felt like I was walking up 10.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, this is terrible.
But that's what I love about traveling. I must admit, here in Texas, when I moved over, I was expecting a ranch, a cowboy hat.
Same here. I was expecting horses.
I wasn't expecting landing at DFW Airport and seeing Six Flags in the stadium.
Yeah.
And it's just like, geez, what the fuck have I moved to? This is suburbia. This is so not me. I'm used to bushveld, the Atlantic Ocean, the Mongolian steppes. Here I am in suburbia with a kid and a wife, and I can't work. I'm here. I'm trapped. And I must admit, at times that took a while to adjust to, and I was resentful. I must admit, and I was horrible to my wife.
No, I said the same thing. I agree with you.
What am I doing here?
100%. I was the same way when I moved here 12 years ago, and it was less culture in Texas 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 11 plus years, almost 12 now. I've been here. I moved here when I was 18 years old. I'm 30 years old now. I've been here most of my life. Most of my life that counts.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
So 18 years old. Listen, from 1 to 6, that part of your life don't count. Wherever you live is where you live.
Yes, yeah, you have no option on anything like that.
But you still have no options from as you get older. What I mean by as a kid, you're malleable. Yeah. You can live one place and move another place. You're malleable because as long as you have your core family, you're fine. So that's negligent. So then from 6, in my opinion, from 6 to about 18, right? That's your development years. Yeah. And you're growing. And I grew up in my whole life in New York City, right? And I lived there. But my adult years, my formative years of learning and growth came from outside of New York City. The majority of my life was outside of that.
I must admit, cities do sort of, they don't make you, they don't define you, wherever you grow up. Mm-hmm. But
I think
in a way it does.
It does. I think it's a combination of everything, because the experience of your city makes the experience you have.
Yeah.
The experience of what you do more from there. That's why I feel like traveling, I think we agree, traveling is very important.
Yes.
Because when you grow up 30 plus years in one city,
then
it's a problem.
You're going to stagnate.
Yeah, you're going to stagnate. Your growth and your acceptance of different things is going to change, because you know why? Your identity is this location. Yeah. Now, my identity, I still represent New York City. I love New York City. Yep. I love everything about New York City. But I've seen more of the world than most of my friends have.
Yes.
And that's nowhere near you could say to your friends.
Yeah.
You've literally seen the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. Could I move back to Cornwall and live there happily? Yeah. Would I feel comfortable doing it?
It's tough. I don't
Family
think so.
and friends are there, but no, I don't think I could. Honestly, don't know where home is now.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is where I think we find different. We have a similar path, because home is always going to be home. Yeah. Your home is always going to be home. New York City is always going to be my home. Yeah. Right? I loved it. I love New York City. Yeah. I love everything about New York City. But I'm never going to move back to New York City.
Yeah.
I do not want to move back to New York City, because I don't think I 100% fit in the city anymore. Yeah. Not that I've outgrown it. I'm not saying I've outgrown it, but I don't fit 100% because my mentality is different.
Yeah.
Now I'm not better than the people there. I'm not more advanced than the people there. I'm just different. I'm just different.
Yes.
And I expect different things from the people who live there.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay to be different. But I just don't think I'll be perfectly happy in New York City.
Yeah. So where would you like to end up? Where What?
So my two dream places in my life is my two favorite places in the world, and they're both in America.
Okay.
Vancouver's up there, but here's the thing: I can't physically afford Vancouver.
You got to marry a Canadian girl.
I gotta marry a rich Canadian girl, or I gotta hit the lottery.
Yes.
Listen, Vancouver's expensive. I love Vancouver to death, but everywhere I want to live that I love is super expensive.
Yeah.
So there's a small little part of southern San Diego that it's not southern San Diego. It's like a weird strip. Like you know how they have Riverside. There's different little cities in there.
Right.
But there's one on the coast, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I love Southern California to the millionth degree. Now, I don't love it because of Southern California culture.
Yeah.
I just love it because the weather is the best weather I've experienced in my entire life. I went there in the winter.
Okay.
Beautiful. I went there in the summer. It's beautiful. It's the only thing bad about it, there's no river in the city. There's no river in the city. So the droughts happen. Droughts are serious in Southern California because there's no running river in Southern California. Gotcha. Outside of that, it's beautiful. I love Southern California. People, whatever, I don't care. I just love the place.
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Not Fort Lauderdale. It's in Fort Lauderdale, but it's a place called Hollywood Beach, Florida.
Okay.
It's a small little city on the coast of the east side of Florida, Fort Lauderdale. And it's the only boardwalk on the east side of Florida.
Okay.
It's a really old Jewish city.
Right.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it to death. I can see myself dying there.
Okay. Interesting. That's interesting.
I like angry people. I love.
Well, generally, just like angry people.
I just like there's a difference between being violent and angry.
Okay.
Like cruddy old people.
Yeah.
Makes me laugh.
Cantankerous.
Yeah.
Grumpy.
It makes me laugh. It makes me feel like. Listen, no one wants to be yelled at, and nobody wants old weird people yelling at you.
That is true.
Nobody wants that. But watching it's hilarious. Watching old weird people's hilarious.
Oh, hang on, this is my lawyer, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Michael, this is Victor. We're doing a podcast and video. Do you want to say hello?
Michael. Is that the Cowtown stout?
Everybody else is doing it?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it?
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing it. It's cranberry CD.
Is it?
No, it's not. Everybody. No, that's not
everybody's
the
doing it.
cranberries.
So why
No,
can't we? It's cranberries.
no, it's not.
I promise you. Everybody else is doing it, so why can't we?
Mind if I see the can? I like Cowtown.
But that's not the right cranberry song or album.
Everybody's doing it. New England IPA. So we're gonna wrap this up. Two things I want to wrap this up with you, and I want you. Because I've been talking for the last 5 minutes. I want to wrap this up with you. Two things. What beer trend that you're looking forward to, or what's your favorite beer? Either one you want to talk about?
Oh, crumbs. All sorts of beers.
Is there any style that you like the most?
No, I am like a beer butterfly. There's things that I know that I don't
For
like.
people who don't know the reference, butterfly just hop
like
from
social
thing
butterfly, yeah.
hop from thing to thing.
But I'm growing to appreciate the way things are brewed. It's called craft beer, and at one point I thought it was quite a pretentious way of saying, but it is a craft. Wade, who's just stood over there, and Sean, these guys spend hours defining recipes, putting their input, their blood, sweat, and tears into their beers, and it is like an art. It's like a woodcutter, a farmer. It is a craft. And when you say styles, I enjoy most. I love IPAs at the moment. Always have done. Indian Pale Ales.
Well, it started.
It's a British
thing.
sending it over to the troops in India back in the 1700s. It was just something that was lost to us British. We did bitters, real ales. The Irish, the most famous stout is Guinness.
But the ales is something
It's
beautiful.
different.
We're talking about the ales in Europe. It's beautiful.
Cask ales. We've got one here, the distant cousin, and it's actually on a. I love the way it was described here as a beer machine, or to us it was a hand pump, and that's how we always poured our traditional beer, our ales.
You know who keeps that tradition? Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Really?
You have a lot of pubs with cast ales.
That I never knew. That is cool.
Shout out to Albuquerque's. I forgot the name of the small brewery. I'm gonna pull up the video right now so you guys can see it. They do an ale with green tea mixture, and it sounds weird.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful and delicious. Okay. And they do it in a cast ale that you pour.
Yeah, the hand pump. Yeah, and it's like
it's the best.
at home
It's probably one of the best beers I've ever had.
So I must admit, I like stouts, I like IPAs. Hot summer's day, a good lager. Something thirst quenching, something with flavour. We drink beer for, it's not always for the flavour, it's for the effect, for the conversation.
Agreed. Mostly for the conversations.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong with a lager that makes you want to drink more of it.
Exactly. And for me, but American beer's got a higher ABV. In Britain, we used to get excited for our winter beers at 5%. Anything between 4 and 5, 6%, we would drink all day, every day. Here, it seems to be the bigger the ABV, the better the beer. It's just like, whoa, I want to be able to drink more than just the beginning of a conversation, that small can.
Yeah.
So, what the fuck?
Yeah, it felt the same way,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of ABV. Here's the thing about that. We, as North American people, because not just Americans, because Canadians do the same thing. And Mexicans do it differently, but they mostly do it in their liquor.
Yes.
They go hard on liquor versus beer.
The beer.
Yeah. But anyway, in North America, we love getting drunk.
The world does.
No. People like getting drunk.
Yeah.
But North America likes to get drunk for no reason.
Fucked up. Okay. Okay, sorry, Mum. You're going to love this because it's on video this time.
He apologizes. No, but yeah. It's not just, it's a weird thing that we do, and I found that it's a North American thing because I'm lucky enough to travel a few places in Asia and in Europe where people like to drink, and then people like to drink to get drunk.
Yeah.
And in North America, it seems to be the culture of getting drink to get drunk. It's kind of the culture overall. Not everybody, but it's the culture overall.
Yeah.
That's why we do 12%, 15%, 20% beers.
That's too much.
Yeah, it gets crazy, man.
Yeah. The 4.5 to 6% all day, every day.
Yeah.
But the 14%ers, whoa, no, cannot do that. Can't do those. They hurt.
I like those weird things.
Okay, so he's just shown me. It is a Cranberries song. He loves the Cranberries. And again, that's my lawyer. If you ever need a good criminal defense attorney, not that I've used him in that aspect.
I was going to say, what crime are we committing?
Michael Paul. Michael Paul, defense attorney for the best.
The best in Texas. Saying it right now.
I've known him for years. I never realised he was bald. He's always worn a cap.
Have you ever seen him without a cap?
No, in 3 years. What? Jeez. I need to get you a toupee.
Don't worry, I'm bald in too. Don't worry about it. I got this.
Chicks dig it.
Yeah,
It's just an extreme
I'm going bald.
All I gotta say is fuck you.
I just got tired of my hair getting in my eyes, man. So that's an extreme part.
I like the string part. You know what? I feel it. Here's the thing for me. I haven't gone full bald yet, so I didn't have time to shave my head this morning.
Right.
So I take my clippers and cut my hair down to
Okay.
zero.
This is long for me.
Yeah, this is long for me too. This is long for me right now. Like, this is my hair long. You can see my
Yeah,
bald head. Forget that guy. You don't see that picture.
I used to look like that about 30 years ago.
I used to look that when I was 20.
41.
Yeah.
I ain't going bald.
I see someone bragging right now.
I've been like this for
20 years?
at least 15. I had hair in
What are you,
law school.
41?
It was early 2000. I graduated 01. So that's 17, 18 years ago. 17, 18 years ago now.
You saying law school made you lose your hair?
So I had hair
Pretty
until I was
much.
30. I had hair till I was 30.
You know what? I feel the same way because I didn't start balding until I was 29, close to my 30s. I'm like,
Right.
it happened. You know what? I've had a good use of my hair. I'm never growing out again.
Lost my hair at 30, lost my eyes at 40.
My eyesight's going.
I mean, that's everybody.
Yeah.
There's no way to get around that. Medically, everybody's gonna go blind.
True.
Everybody's
Blind
gonna
and
go blind. No, blind. No. So I'm gonna do LASIK. I want to do LASIK.
Mom did it, swears by it. My little sister did it, swears by it. I'm just too scared to do that shit. But I want the bugs to be worked out. You know what I'm saying? Check it out.
Most of the bugs
The
are.
price to come down.
Most of the bugs go. The price is not gonna go down anytime soon because there's not enough doctors. That's unfortunate. Sorry, but what I would say is this: most of the bugs are worked out of it, but it's still like a 3% chance you might go blind.
Yeah.
It's only 3%, that's 97%, but it could be right.
Yeah, it's a risk.
Well, I had a friend that went and did it. And she has like night, like her.
She has night vision now.
How
She
long?
sees everything in green light.
Well, like
That's
light,
cool.
When light shine, you kind of like blindness, and she has that a lot.
Oh,
It's just like she sees this like fuzzy light
don't mind contacts. I wear contacts all the time.
Yeah. What do you got?
The problem is
Hacktown? Oh, okay.
log it in. No, on that beautiful note, sir, what I want to say is what you guys are planning to do for beer trips is something I think is super important. Something I want to do with the podcast, and something I think it's very important for beer culture. Is to say, good beers are important, but the people are more important. And seeing people in their natural environment and what they feel comfortable in, hanging out in that places, is beautiful.
Thank you.
And doing something like that around the world is something tremendous. So, whatever I can do to help support,
appreciate it.
I will be there. I also want to experience these things too. So, whatever I can do to sign up for it, let me know. I want to record these things in these adventures. So, I'm gonna finish this beer by chugging a little bit that I have left.
Well, cheers.
Thank you to Division Brewery. I said Deep L, I'm sorry. Division Brewing for letting us hang out here.
Thank you, Wade. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, so letting us hang out here and drink. Also follow, you guys have social media?
Yep. 4040 Adventures. I think we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And
links in the description. They're going to have Facebook, Instagram, all that as well. Follow, subscribe. Also check their website out to see any adventures. They do hiking and all the different types of adventures as well, outside of the beer as well. But I think the beer is something important.
Yep.
And then you also follow us anywhere, subscribe and like as well. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Thank you so much. Have a safe weekend. Don't drink and drive. Take a lift.
Thank you.